up, guys? It's Josh from KDM Tuners. Tonight we are installing a Turbo Sxth front mount intercooler kit on a Veloster Turbo. We've already removed the stock intercooler kit off the car. If you guys need to know how to do that, our first video of the 845 intercooler kit, we have that in there, so just check out that video. So we've already took everything apart. We're just showing you the actual install of the kit on the car. One thing we did just testing it out was we put the brackets on the core itself. If you take a look over here, basically you have the small bracket goes on the passenger side, and it comes with a bolt, and it just bolts right into the top, and then it has a long bolt that goes through the back, and then a couple of nuts that hold it on. So the small bracket goes on the passenger side, and then they supply a larger bracket. Same thing, the way it hooks up, and this goes on the driver's side over this tall piece, whatever the heck that is. So the core kind of sits right in line with the radiator itself. So when you're lining that up, it's going to sit pretty much right in front of the radiator. So when the bumper's on the car, the whole kit is going to be moved over to more of the passenger side. So when you're looking at the front of the car, it's going to look like it's offset a little bit, and that's normal. On these kits, I don't know if you can do the MBRP hot pipes on these, but we do need the OEM hot pipe. We had a 6 element hot pipe on this and it did not work, and that's why we're out here in the dark, because we had to have some buddies go pick up one and bring it all the way over here from Rialto. It's about an hour drive, I'd say, hour and a half, something like that. It's pretty far. So now we got all the parts. Now we're going to go back on the install. If you look down here, we got all the pipes kind of set up. We don't have all the couplers on it, but just your basic hot pipe off the stock car with the resonator delete on there. And then we had to kind of, it's kind of a shitty cut job there, but we had to customize the coupler on this to get this kit to work. The one that it came with was a little bit too long, so it wouldn't fit. Let's just get into it. So we'll keep going. All right, guys. One thing that we're gonna do, we haven't gone over on any of our videos, and I haven't seen anything really on the internet yet, is installing the HKS valve onto the flange itself. This kind of can go with any car, really. So the process is the same. You're gonna need some snap ring pliers. There's some really shitty ones out there. Harbor Freight, don't buy those. First time you go to use them, they explode. So I've tried getting ones from Amazon. I've tried from the local parts stores. They all suck. I have not found a good one yet. I think the one I got now is just some one off Amazon, and it's lasted a little while, but just look around, maybe some reviews for some good snap ring pliers. Anyways, kind of ranted there, but so getting into this stupid thing is there's a seal that comes with it. So you want to put that seal in there. Next thing is on these guys, on these snap rings. So on the knockoff HKS, see how they're, I don't know if you can see it in the video. There's like a little lip right there. It's kind of like a taper almost. You see that? Okay, well you can't see it, but anyways, there's like a little taper right there, and that faces up. On the knockoff ones, that taper is not there, so it's just flat across. But anyways, so on your valve, go ahead and see there's this little flat spot on that side. You're gonna kind of finagle that on there like that. So you're gonna have the snap ring holes on one side, and what you gotta do is you're gonna press the valve in the hole. I don't know how you guys are gonna see this. So you're gonna sit the valve in there, right? I don't know if these snap ring pliers will work, but you're gonna get these snap ring pliers in the holes and squeeze them together. And we're gonna get it in the hole. So you gotta push down these together like that, and on the back side, ouch, these will get you too. So I'm not using the right ones, but I'm trying to. Anyway, so you're gonna squeeze these together on this side, and on the back side of the valve over here, on the opposite direct side of that, let's try different pliers. You're gonna have to push down. You're gonna have to push it down in the slot as you're pinching the other side. Sometimes it helps if you have a buddy too. You can have them pressing down on the valve to seat it, but I'll show you how to do that without a friend. Okay, so we're gonna pinch those together as tight as you can. You're gonna go to the opposite side, push it down as much as you can in there, all right? There we go. And then, so now it's kind of in there. What we want to do is that has to snap in. And what you can do is press down on it and get a piece of pliers or like a screwdriver and push it in. So you can push down and push that as well. And it's not in still. You can kind of twist it. So you're just going to go around this whole thing and try to get it to snap in. It's not easy. So what I need to do is grab a screwdriver, I think. Thank you. Oh, popped out. Almost had it there. And this is where shit gets a little bit challenging, is when one side pops out. It's hard to grab it. Getting there. What you want to see is on this side where the snap rings are. See how they're real close together right there? When it's seated all the way in, they spread out a little bit. Right now it's not all the way in there. So what we'll do is we'll rock the valve back and forth, kind of press down on everything, try to get the pop in place. There we go. That might be it. No. Pretty tight. So if it's in, one other way you could tell if it's in all the way is obviously you could pull on it and it'll pop out. The other thing is if it's on loose, you can actually spin this thing around. So it should move a little bit. But see how I'm actually putting a lot of force on that and it's not really moving? That shit's seated pretty good, so it's not going to leak. And if you look in there, you probably can't tell, but they're spread out a little bit farther than they were. So they're actually seated in there pretty good. So the more you try to twist it around, the more you'll eat the paint off of it, but it shouldn't go anywhere. And then also when you guys put these in the car, so this is going to sit in there like that. You want the valve to face down or forward. If you have it facing up, a lot of guys want to face it up because they want the sound to go everywhere. Problem is if it's raining, or if you ever get in your car, lift the hood up after a long drive, you'll see gravel on top of your valve cover and shit. All that's flying up from your wheels, so that will fly up and it'll land in the valve. If that valve opens up, technically it'll blow it all out, but there is a possible chance you can get fluid or even worse, gravel or sand or dirt inside in here, so you don't want to do that. Always face your valves down or forward. So that's what that looks like. But let's.
Oh hey, putting a hot pipe back on here. Technically this will be on your car already, but took it off dicking around with it. Riveting film. How to ratchet. I'm not gonna explain how to put this in because y'all y'all should know. All right. But what I will say is, like I always say in every video, is this top fucking clamp up here is definitely very important to make sure it's tight. So spend your time getting this thing really tight. If you have a boost leak, it's usually up here, and it's hard to get to without your car up in the air. So no, even when it's up in the air, it's kind of hard to get to. Go ahead and place these in their spots here, and then we'll tighten that other clamp down. Might have to actually loosen that up a little bit, but we'll see. Do loosen this up, and then we'll tighten this clamp, and then we'll stretch it. So I have this pipe way in there, so we can actually loosen this clamp up and get it aligned again. Now is just loosening this top clamp, and I'm going to let this come off a little bit because I have it pushed away on there. Oh, that was way more than a little, huh? So what I'll do is we'll put these, mount this on first. And then we'll go ahead and push this back up tight. Good spot there. You want to make sure you're past the little, I don't know what you call them.
Bead.
The bead, yeah. Because this is a spot that will like to slide off too. So just make sure you're past the bead. And go ahead and crank her down. Make sure this one's tight. We're just gonna go through all of them, make sure they're really tight. Okay, so all that's where it needs to be, and now we just have to put the hot pipe on, which is this guy here. I need to find another clamp real quick though. So putting this in the car, we're gonna go through the front. We already hooked the hose up like we showed you earlier. Go ahead and slide this in. Slide this on the small side first. Okay, and then before we slide it all the way on, we're going to go ahead and slide this guy in its place. Oh, we're missing that clamp.
No, it's on there.
Oh. And this one, we're going to want to put the clamp so we can get to it. We're going to go like this.
on, we're gonna put this clamp like that. So this is a 10 millimeter on this kit. Like I always say, always tighten the hell out of these things, but same thing, tighten them all the way as tight as you can get it. So this hot pipe is already in its place, so we can really just tighten the clamps all the way down. We have one clamp to go up here where the camera is, but I'm sure you know where I'm at. And I want to put this, got this pipe, this here. What we'll do, try. Oh, we got the pipe all the way back over here, so we can put the clamp right there. That's perfect. Buttoned up on the underside of the car, and we'll crawl out over here and we'll get these two clamps on all the way. This hot pipe is where we want it. So we're gonna go ahead and put this clamp just like that there. On there. So what we're gonna do is make sure these are on first, and then we're leaving this whole unit loose until we get all the pipes on. That way we can adjust it however we need to, and then the last thing we're gonna do is tighten these brackets down. So next step would be installing the cold pipe. One thing we need to do on the cold pipe is install the sensor. So sensor goes in this hole here. Oh man, that's loose. Well, we're gonna have to put some sealant on that because that's gonna leak. The flange is not good. And if you look in there, it looks like, I don't know what they did on that flange in there, but it's pretty gnarly. So we'll put some blue RVT on that and get that solid. But what we want to do first is kind of just stick this in there and see where your clip is in here in relevance to where the cold pipe's gonna sit. So that way we can get a good idea of which direction we want to place it. So it's gonna sit right in here. It's gonna sit like right there. What we'll probably do is face it backwards. I think what we're gonna actually do is get these, the whole harness is gonna go behind this pipe so it looks cleaner. Stretch them out a little bit. There we go. So it's gonna sit in there like that, and we're gonna put the sensor facing this direction like that, okay? So, but first we're gonna put some blue RVT on there so we don't have any leak issues, and then we'll get back to this. All right, so we're gonna put, we got this guy on there with some RVT for now. Hopefully they'll dry up. We're just gonna slide this in, see if we can land this thing in here. So what we're gonna do, we got all the wires behind the pipe so it looks clean from the front of the car. Kind of just finagle this thing down in the hole. We got the 90 in here, so we're gonna just kind of set this in the 90 at the bottom. just get it started. Then it's gonna sit in there, and then we'll go back up to the top, and let's get both hose clamps on the pipe. We forgot to do that, so let me get my hands in there. Oh, wrong way. Okay, there we go, and then we'll go ahead and slide that onto the throttle body here. Okay. So that's just kind of sitting on there on the throttle body. We'll leave that loose for now. We'll jump back down over here. Make sure we can get the pipe all the way in the coupler. All right, so I think what we're gonna do is take maybe the coupler off, get it back on there more. Might be easier to put that on before putting this in here, but let's rethink this plan here. That didn't work out so well. Get this on first. There we go. Just want it on enough to get it to slide on. There we go. We'll put this one like that. Try putting it back in there. Go. And once you get the pipes in there, shit, gotta get this clamp turned around.
Actually, gonna slide it down and spin it. There we go. There we go. So, there's not a lot of room in here with the stock crash bar, so we gotta kind of put this in a spot that's gonna work here, not make a bunch of noise by rubbing on anything. So, we'll try that spot there, and we'll give it a test. I think what we're gonna do is get the open-ended wrench and just ratchet this in this fashion here. So we got all our clamps on there tight. Go ahead and we'll go through all our plugs and stuff here. So I'd like to plug in the map sensor, or actually this is the boost sensor. So we'll go ahead and clip that in. Probably hard to see, but let it click. That's in there. The boost lines, I think he has a Mac valve. So here's your Mac valve. I want to say, I'll have to look at the diagram because I forgot which one goes where. I think two
goes to the
intake.
pipe. Goes to the charge pipe. I think 3 goes to
The blow off. 3 I have going over to here. Maybe we'll put a flash of that picture up.
yeah, I could do that. Thanks, dude.
Oh, my bad. Connection number 1. Number 2 goes to the blow-off valve. So this guy actually goes to the blow-off valve. We have that wrong. And number 3 port goes to intake manifold, which is here. And number 1 port goes to intercooler pipe. So this number 1 port, it's going to go to this intercooler pipe. This nipple might be a little bit too big for this OEM hose. So we'll have to get some hose real quick and mess with that. What we got now on the Mac valve is going to be number 3 goes up to the intake manifold up top. Number 1 goes into the cold pipe here, and then number 2 on this side is going to go to the blow-off valve. So we got some extra hose we found here. I'll put that on there, and we're going to actually run it underneath, so try to keep it clean as possible, and then push it right onto the HKS there. Okay, and then what we want to do is we're going to put zip ties on all these connections,
and that way they're not going to come off. So always zip tie these things. So we got everything, all the hose clamps on the, got all these on there, Mac valves in there. I think what we'll do is we're gonna go ahead and zip tie the Mac valve in a spot that to make it look nice. So we're gonna actually, he left the stock one in here, so I'm just gonna zip tie it to the stock bracket just to kind of keep it tidy. But the placement of the Mac valve is up to you. I actually ran across a post on Instagram the other day. There's a guy that makes some really fancy looking some brackets for these Mac valves. They're $59. They're a little bit expensive, but they're really made out of billet, super cool looking. Yeah, that's just make sure everything's tight the way it's supposed to be. Probably gonna have to adjust the HKS valve. So far we got the intercooler in. We gotta tighten the brackets right now because that's where it's gonna live. So let's go ahead and tighten those, and then after that we'll put the intake back on, get the car back together, get it back on the ground, and this thing should be ready to boogie. So let's tighten these guys. Next trick of the trade is going to be trying to get these nuts on the bottom of these bolts. So I'm thinking if you just slide it in there with your fingers underneath the bolt and then drop the bolt on it, give the bolt a little twisteroo. Oh, this bolt's bent. I think they angled it on purpose, but so we'll just go ahead and place that there. Alright, that one's hand tight, so we're gonna go ahead and put this one. It's gonna be hard to see because I gotta put same shit. Alright, I'm thinking these are going to be 14s, but I'm not sure. So this top one's a 16, which means the bottom one's going to be bigger, so that's probably a 17. Yeah, so I think it's a 17. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this on. Tighten this down. Now what we can do is this one down here is a 14. We gotta tighten these. I forgot. So tighten the bolt that holds the bracket first. Okay, and go ahead and get in there with these guys. So 17 on the bottom to hold it, 16 on top. You can use a ratchet, you can use whatever you got. think the impact will turn it.
You want to be careful not to pierce the tank.
It's already tight as fuck. This sits like right at the top of the tank. It trips me out a little bit. But this shit is not fucking moving. This is like the most solid mounted intercooler I've ever fucking come across though.
It really is.
All right, guys, it's cold as fuck out here, and we got the whole kit put on there, the Turbo Sxth kit. The only thing we really have to do left is just kind of put the bumper back on, get the intake on, all that stuff. So I'm not gonna bore you with all the details of putting in how to put a filter on and how to put your bumper on. We've gone over that a million times. So, but we'll film us doing it, so we'll just kind of go through it to see us working on the car, I guess. But that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions at all with this kit, you can always message me. This is the first time we've installed one of these, so there's still a few things that we could probably do differently, or I might even do differently next time. If there's anything you guys do on installing this kit that you saw us do differently, or something that you might be easier that you've done installing these, go ahead and drop a comment in below, so anyone that might be watching this video could possibly learn from that. So we do our best with the installs. We don't always do it probably the easiest way. There's always another way to do it, a million ways to skin a cat. So if there's a way that you guys do it that we didn't do it, please let us know, drop us a comment. We're always, we love seeing those. So that said, this is a pretty easy install. Anyone can do it with, you know, regular hand tools. So it'll probably only take you like maybe 3 hours if you're taking your time, maybe a little bit less. So, but again, as always, if you guys like our videos, please subscribe, hit the little like button, the bell, so you get notified when we have new videos pop up. And if there's anything you guys want to see us film, just go ahead and shoot us a message, let us know. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, it's KDM Tuners everywhere. Check our website out, all that good stuff. And until the next time, see you guys later.